Yo, 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 peace and blessings, peace and blessings. You already know what it is, man. It's Plot in Progress podcast, the Growth Spot Legacy. Hit them with what the legacy stands for real quick, Nick. I know you know
it. He put me on the spot, but it's love, equity, growth, ancestry, cooperative yield. That's it.
Cooperative yield, legacy.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
I appreciate you, brother, showing up one more again, man, for the podcast. We got a lot of good feedback off the last one. And I see Brother Bilal in the building. What's up, Bilal?
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings. We got a good feedback off of the last one, man, the first one that premiered. And I'm just thankful to have y'all on another episode, man. So I say, we'll go ahead and get started. So let me see, go to the chat. Okay, so who spit those bars? All right. I got the bars. Y'all let me know what they are, man. I'm breaking up?
No, you good.
Nah, yeah, you sound crystal clear.
Okay. All right, so this is who spit those bars. I know Bilal might know the song.
My hip hop IQ is kind of falling.
All right, let's see. Do it right like a Garveyite. Africa, I'm heading back. Niggas in the street, black on black. Hit him with the heat. Black.
Yeah, I know. But I'm gonna let somebody else go.
Cut off his feet, put him in a shackle. Mansa Musa been had the cash. Miss Black to like loot blacks. Don't want blacks to produce blacks.
Oh man, I heard this before.
Take black till they boot that. All rich is the new black.
I feel like I heard that before.
Yeah, me too.
You heard it.
Man, I'm gonna throw a guess. It's just a wild guess, but I'm gonna throw Nas out there.
Nas? Now that ain't Nas, fam.
I need a hint. What region?
That particular bars or the song? That rapper is from the East Coast.
Okay. It sounded like East Coast, so I was at least Coast.
Is it Wu-Tang Clan affiliated?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Damn, I'm way off then. I don't know.
Not at all. Newer East Coast.
Right.
Newer East Coast. Okay.
That's a great hint.
Like Griselda or something like that?
Not that new.
Okay.
They don't even rap like that. They don't rap about They rap about.
No, I didn't think so. I didn't think so. I'm like, okay, maybe they getting a little deeper.
He just gave you a clue though. He said they. So now you know that artist come from a crew.
Who else would it be?
Can't be the P. Man, stall us out, brother. Stall us out.
Oh, no. I'm way off.
I give up.
You gonna play it or you want to just?
I want to play it because I don't want to get flagged.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but go ahead and tell him.
It's that's ASAP Ferg, right?
Yeah.
ASAP Ferg.
Okay.
On
ASAP Ferg off Buddy.
Okay.
Song called Buddy Black. Y'all heard the song Black.
Yeah.
It's just so black. You remember that song?
I wasn't gonna get that though. Damn. Okay. I like them both.
I listened to that song hella time, so that's how I know it, man.
Run it down one more time. The bars.
Okay. Fuck, I done already fucking closed it. Hold on.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
it was.
What makes it so hard is that he usually don't be chopping on that type of content.
Exactly.
So when we heard it, we was like, oh, it make it even harder when brothers step outside of their normal BS and talk about some real shit. You know what I mean? Real
exactly.
stuff.
Yeah, a lot of them dudes be knowing, man. They just don't. They don't always put in the forefront, But that don't come from nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put profit before conscious.
they from Harlem too. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
they already know that history runs deep there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like Rocky heavy. I used to listen to a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, I like Ferg better than Rocky. Me
You
personally.
do? Ooh.
He chopped better than
Ooh.
bro.
Rocky
Yeah,
nice though. Ooh, I'm gonna have to
Ferg be snapping though.
on that.
Ferg be snapping, bro.
Yeah, he do.
But he
He do.
said,
I like him
do it
too.
right like a Garveyite. Africa, I'm heading back. Niggas in the street, black on black. Kill him with the heat, black, 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 black. Cut off his feet, put him in a shackle. Mansa Musa Ben had the cash. Mix black till I loot blacks. Take they black off and boot that. R Rich is the new black.
That's hard.
That shit
Yeah.
cold, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Hard.
Yeah, that shit cold, man. But I'm gonna play this video, man. It's a 3-minute video. I want us to watch and then just build on it on what we think. Oh fuck, hold on. What we think about. So the video was I'm pretty sure y'all heard about the what was it, 13 families or 19 families?
Yeah, 19.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They bought the
That town.
96 acres, yeah. 96 acres in Georgia. So let me play this real quick. And we could build on that real quick because it kind of pertains to what we're doing.
We are the buying power. If we can just to circulate our dollars within the community, we will solve our own problems. We are literally the answer to our own problems, but we have to change our thinking and come together. My name is Renee Walters, and I am the president of the Freedom Georgia Initiative. I have a Black husband, I have a Black son. Every time he would leave out for work or just to go to the store or anything, I would have a sense of anxiety just from watching everything that we've been going through lately with the pandemic and watching our Black men being murdered on national television in front of everybody. It kind of we are the buying power. If we can just teach each other to circulate our dollars within the community, we will solve our own problems. We are literally the answer to our own problems, but we have to change our thinking and come together. My name is Renee Walters, and I am the president of the Freedom Georgia Initiative. I have a Black husband, I have a Black son. Every time he would leave out for work or just to go to the store or anything, I would have a sense of anxiety just from watching everything that we've been going through lately with the pandemic and watching our Black men being murdered on national television in front of everybody. It kind of just all shook us by storm. It's now time for us to get our friends and family together and build for ourselves. That's the only way we'll be safe. That's the only way that this will work. We have to start bringing each other together. Well, we are looking to get amenities on the land. We want to have a place where you can have weddings, a nice retreat. We'll have tiny homes. We really just want you to come and hang out and feel safe. You don't have to worry about the Karens of the world and anything like that. You just come and have fun. We'll have a sportsman area with fishing, hunting, shooting range, ATV trails. We really just want to build a tight-knit community for our people to just come and breathe together. I know they have a bad stigma that, oh, Black people can't come together, but just like how Black Wall Street, their dollars circulated around 11 times before it left the community. And that's just something we want to bring back. We want to encourage businesses to come And we want to circulate our dollar within the community before it leaves out to someone else. We want to make everybody in our areas wealthy. But every time we go to the land and in the actual cities, like we haven't received any backlash. Everyone is really nice and welcoming. It's the internet trolls, the negativity in the world, like, oh, you guys are gonna fail. Isn't this segregation? This is not what Martin Luther King stood for. And it's not us segregating ourselves. It's just we're building where we can come and be safe. Like Chinatown has these areas. You go up and down Buford Highway, you can't even read some of the signs because it's not in our language, and nobody has a problem. And why is it that when we want to build, we're considered racist or we're segregating ourselves? Why can't we have our own safe haven? Every community has them. Everyone is welcome in freedom, but it is basically based on seeing Black people flourish, and that's all we want. Because every time we try to, somebody tried to burn it down, or we got some type of backlash, and I'm just tired of that. It's time for us to build our own.
What y'all think about that, bro?
Totally dig it. Man, I like what she was saying as well. Just to kind of touch on that last little piece, it's not so much separation, because we first got to establish something of our own. You feel me? And I take it more as in that. And what's wrong with us establishing something of our own instead of saying, "Give me this, give me that." They not doing nothing for us, and using all of these common, excuses and reasons that we put out there. Let's just go establish something of our own.
Yeah, I think that she made a good point as far as the thing I kind of thought was weird a little bit was, okay, yeah, they was killing the brothers and shit. They've been doing that for forever. So that's not nothing new. I think that the other part that I did agree with was the fact that, like, why is it that when we want to do something for ourselves, we have to be inclusive? When other
negativity.
cultures, yeah, turn your mic down a tad bit, Nick. You loud as hell when you come in. But like when we do our own things, it's considered segregation and
what y'all
and
doing? Y'all
racism.
trying to leave us?
Right. But my thing is, we were
Exactly.
never welcome. Yeah, like we were never welcome. Chinatown can have their own Chinatown. Koreatown can have their Koreatown. Even Africans can have their own African. But why is it when we do something, it's considered racial, racial or racism?
Then they start using some of they terms and their characteristics and trying to put that on us. It's the feeling of when you done did somebody's wrong, and you feel like, dang, they might know. So you feel like
guilt tripping.
That's what it is. You know what I mean? Guilt trip.
Mm-hmm.
A guilty conscience leading through.
Yeah, hit dog will holler every time. I think one of the things that she talked about was just that feeling of being out there, being present in a space where you ain't got to worry. You can get rid of your worries and cast off all of the burdens, so to speak. And I think when you analyze that in comparison to what we're doing and what our intentions were around the land that we acquired, it was exactly that, man. I remember that first feeling of us walking that specific spot of land, and just the feeling of being able to serenity, peace, freedom, true freedom, not having any bounds, so to speak, and getting rid of all of the negativity. She talked about the fact that when we get ready to do something, we come together as a collective, or we come together as a whole. It's always faced with adversity or faced with negativity, and even oh, you guys are gonna fail, or you're gonna do this, you know what I mean? But you can't let the naysayers stop you from doing what you were doing, man. So it's a powerful concept the sister was talking about to me.
Definitely, and living in this day and age, when you put it out there, you gotta expect the negativity to come back. I think the best thing to do is learn how to use it for fuel. You feel me? So cool. I know we're gonna get the negativity, but watch how we use it as the launching pad, the trampoline.
Yeah, and also I don't want to minimize the anxiety that she was speaking to, but I do believe that quite a bit of that could be quelled with these type of initiatives, right? Because it requires you to remove yourself from these city landscapes that we're immersed in, where you're kind of like removed from some of those elements that trouble us, that are troublesome, especially not in recent years, but like Crondo said, for forever, right? For decades on this soil, right? Um, so like removing yourself from that landscape, it requires your mental to kind of like exert a different type of like effort into what you're actually doing, right? You're present there versus here where all of this stuff is apparent because it's in front of you, right? You can't travel, your daily commute, right? You're seeing police officers, you're seeing, I mean, you're in traffic, you have all these different levels of anxiety that are kind of put upon you when you remove yourself, you're out in the wilderness and you're literally just trying to build something or at least just kind of express what you want to do there. You're kind of tapping into that imagination that we're kind of robbed of in this particular landscape because we just don't have the time for it. We're so preoccupied with our daily tasks and obligations. So the demonstration is the important aspect of what they're doing, what we're doing, giving people the opportunity to see that it is possible and it's a feasible thing for the common man and woman to do. I think that's the pivotal piece there.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for bringing that back around as well. We do want to
Yeah,
keep
I
it
agree.
keep it positive as well and focus on the mission at hand. So what they're doing is definitely also confirmation and that we're on the right path and there's others out there, there's like minds out there. So it's an opportunity to say, hey, we can all learn from each other as well. That they're also part of that nation that we intend to build. They're just doing it in a different location than we are. So we'll take care. We got it on this part of the earth or the turf. You feel me? They're doing it over there. So I like that.
Yeah, yeah. 96 acres. That's like two two and a half plots of what we got. That's a
Yeah.
shitload of land, bro. That's a shitload of land. You know what I mean? Heavy land, heavy land. So yeah, I salute them. I respect what they're doing. I think it's dope. The internet trolls are always going to be the internet trolls. You can't defeat
For
them. You
sure.
can't beat them. And who gives a shit what they got to say? Honestly,
And that's just fuel, like she talked about. That's the catalyst, man. That's the fuel, man. And I like what the brother said, brother Colin. You said it, man, about the tapping into the creativity, right? You become almost like a child when you're in a space like that, man. Just imagine, right? The 96 acres, that's a lot of land, right? But you become like a child in that space because now all of a sudden you've got to tap into, okay, I got all this open area. What can I do with it? How can I continue to keep myself entertained on it? You're away from, in most cases, probably away from your cell phone coverage, right? So the things that we normally do on a routine basis, which is, social media or, all these other things that we do, the internet, having access to all of those things, you're back to your primitive nature. You're back to your real nature. And that allows you to really just tap in to what the creator created you to be, man. You were created to get out, be fruitful and multiply. And so, man, that I think is a great concept, and it speaks to what we're doing, speaks volumes to what we're doing as well. And when you look at what we're doing on the land right now, that's what we're doing, man. We're able to tap into some of those creative juices, and not that we've all got to be, have the exact same ideas, because it allows for us to tap into even ideas that we may not even thought about, man. So that's it's just an exciting venture, man.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So Kylon, let's go ahead and let's. I want you to discuss the POAs versus HOAs. Say you just copped the land, right? We done already went over the meat and potatoes on how we got the land, what we did to get the land, and all that. So say you got the land. Now we just had a meeting. What was it, last week, I believe, with the board or whatever it was, and everybody that had land on our particular what is it, ranch? I don't know what the term is.
Subdivision.
Subdivision. Yeah,
Mhm.
subdivision. So those that don't know, your land is subdivided between other landowners. Um, on those previous episodes, we did talk about that. Um, but like um, the land, the acres are subdivided between each other. So I believe there's 50, right? Um,
50
and
plots.
50 plots. So um, what's the difference between POAs and HOAs?
Okay. So what you're so every it's not always configured that way. I think it is common that you'll have like larger parcels that are purchased by title companies or holding companies, and then they will subdivide that parcel into 40-acre parcels, 30-acre parcels, 5-acre parcels, however they want to do it. So that kind of speaks to the arrangement of our land, our plot. So POA versus an HOA. So I'm sure most are familiar of what an HOA is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Homeowners Association. POA is simply a property owners association. So there's no uniform set of restrictions and regulations for a POA. Just like every HOA is a little different, but the concept is the same, to kind of preserve the integrity of the intent of the community, right? And it's supposed to serve as a mechanism to ensure that, like, um, your minimum utility access and physical access into your parcel is insured, right? So usually, just like your HOA, your POA is going to consist of a board. Typically, it will be comprised of owners of that particular community or subdivision that are volunteering in those positions to basically ensure that whatever funding, whatever dues that are collected from that community, from each landowner, is put to good use in the name of ensuring those essential things are in place and are being followed up on, to just to guarantee the best experience possible, right, for the community. Essentially, that's what it is. So just like any other community, if you come into a situation where a POA kind of presides over that community, you definitely want to be locked in and understand the terms and conditions of what their authority is there, because it can get out of control as far as people kind of power tripping and kind of implying things
Like
that are a little
nitpicking,
more invasive.
like nitpicking and shit.
Yeah, just I'm sure you've heard like HOA horror like stories where they just over the top with it. You leave your trash can out an extra day, there's a fine, or before you do any kind of development, you got to submit like a application. Can't put a hoop in your backyard without our approval. If you
Say,
want to
say
paint
like,
your house, it's got to be a certain color.
Right.
All of
right,
this type of stuff.
right. Say like we was
Yeah, they
talking
be
about doing
drive.
a
They be
festival or
driving
something.
by taking pictures.
Yeah,
Right,
like
right.
like we was
That's for
talking about
real.
doing a festival or whatever. Like say if they could be like, yo, no parties or no, they could do all that type of shit, right?
They can
Yeah. So,
definitely enforce.
yep. The thing you do want to do, you want to participate, and if you're not actively involved in the board, you at least want to have somewhat of a rapport with those individuals that are serving on that board, so that you can be in the know and you can kind of like put a halt to some of these things that are like a little ridiculous. You don't want to get blindsided by
Yeah.
these things, because if you're kind of uninvolved, there could be things that are that become law, essentially, because essentially it's another layer of government. If you want to be honest, I mean,
It's
we know
governing body.
we know we got the feds, we got the state, we got the county, we got the city, and then the HOA is or POA is essentially just another layer, right? They're just really putting more regulations on top of all of that. You know, fundamentally, that's what it is. It's another layer of government.
Mm. So I just wanted to bring that up just because, some people may think that, oh, I bought the land, man. I'm doing whatever the fuck I want to do on there. If I want, you know what I mean? Like I don't have to abide by no HOA no more, or no. But really, you still do. You still have to. There's still rules to the shit. You know what I mean? Is for lack of a better
Right.
term to say, yeah. And so I just wanted you to explain that, a little bit better so people can understand. Once you do get the acre, once you do get your acres, there's still some due diligence that comes along with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like Kylon said, he said you should be involved. In short,
Yeah.
definitely not missing no meetings, exercising your voice and your vote. That's how you playing the game now. It's a whole nother new game of Monopoly that you playing.
Mm-hmm.
and I would say in these rural areas, usually people that acquire, these particular spaces, for the most part, they kind of want to get away from a lot of the noise and people in general. So a lot of those people, they kind of want to be left alone. So in my experience, there's often like plenty of opportunity to get involved. It's not like people are like rushing into these spots typically, right? Um, and that could be a pro or a con depending on who you ask. But yeah, I would just definitely show some enthusiasm about the space that you're occupying, or at least the place that you have, a personal stake in, so that you're just aware of the terms and conditions of what you're vesting in.
For sure, for sure. That goes into a segue into our next topic. What are some key pros and cons as to buying land? Like, what would you say? I want to start off with Brother Nick, and then go down to Bilal, and then you, Kylon. I'll go last. But like, what would you say are some pros and cons now that we're landowners that you've experienced that comes with buying the land, the good things and the bad things?
Yeah, so I'll give two. I'll give one on the pro side and then one on the con side. So from a pro standpoint, one of the things you achieve a more sense of a freedom. The brother mentioned the fact that yeah, you're going to get a POA, which is considered kind of a loosely governing body, but you're going to get a sense of freedom. In other words, what I mean is that while you've got that land, that's untapped potential, that what the things that you can do with it, right? Yeah, within certain bounds and regulations, but there's a lot more potential of what you can do with that land. So I would say freedom is number one. And then one of the drawbacks to that is that now that requires you to go out and actually do something with the land. So now you've got to, from a con perspective, you really got to be creative. You've got to be really engaged with that land, because otherwise it's just, it's just sitting out there. You're not doing anything with it. So that would be my two pieces that I would say.
Yeah, I would definitely kind of piggyback off that just a little bit. Um, the pro would be um, the opportunity to have a generational asset that you could pass down. I think that would be the one of the biggest pros for me. The con would be, and this is just my answer, the con would be the time that it takes to see it come to fruition. Like, I want it to happen right now, you know what I mean? But
Great point.
the
Great point.
fact of
Great
the
point.
matter is, I may not even live to see it be what we're planning in these early stages. So accepting that as well is somewhat of a con, but the work must be done.
Great point. Great point.
Great point. I agree with that. Pros in general, obviously, the financial aspect, like the brother just said, you have a generational asset that is finite, that is foundational to any particular enterprise you can think of. But in terms of like rural areas, I would say I'll take a different angle. I'll take the environmental angle. You have areas that are typically less populated, less polluted. You're talking air quality, light pollution, all these different things. Your soil probably has a significant clarity that is not present in the major cities. So there's that. Cons, obviously, like Brother Nakia was speaking to, you got to figure it out, right? You're owning the responsibility or the burden of figuring out utilities, figuring out access, security, all the things that you may not have directly been responsible for in the past when you live in the city. A lot of these things are just provided as a byproduct of an infrastructure that we have. When you have a blank canvas on a vacant lot of land, now you've got to piece that together, literally piece that together piece by piece. And it's not necessarily a con. It just feels like an uphill battle at times, right? Because there's just so much, right? But it's a tremendous learning opportunity. And essentially all land development and building construction, for the most part, the foundational principles or steps are the same. So once you go through that with more repetition, you're only going to become more proficient.
Good
Facts.
point. Good point. I would say, me personally, the pros are just building a legacy, breaking a generational issue of just land ownership that a lot of us may or may not have ever had. So that's one of the biggest pros in my opinion. That's what made me want to even just be a part of this. And then the cons, I would say, dealing with motherfuckers that ain't used to seeing you out there like that.
We live here now.
We live here now. You know what I'm saying? Like dealing with motherfuckers who think that, you just some dumbass nigga, you shouldn't even give a fuck about buying no land, or what are you doing out here, or are you the help, or did you come to cut our trees down? Like, no, motherfucker, I came to build on my own fucking land. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's part of the cons, I would say, like, just as far as like not seeing so much of us out there, and so they're not used to seeing that, and so they get to kind of like just staring, and because you're in a rural area and you're not in the city, you feel me? Mm-hmm. So you're not in the city, and out there, and bro, they don't have no etiquette. You know what I'm saying? As far as how they look or deal or stare or nothing, they don't have no etiquette. So it's just like just dealing with that. And I think like the more we go out there, the more we get familiar with them, and it shouldn't be as bad. But that's just part of it. I would say that's a con for me, because I'm not used to dealing with that, and I'm trying to deal well with things like that sometimes. And even when I spaz on that lady, like, we rode up out there. A little quick story. We rode up out there and we pulled up to the beginning of the land part, and they stopped. They stopped what they was doing. Like, hold up, what are they doing out here? And it's like, hey, what are you guys doing out here? And then I forgot who was talking to. I think was it you, Nick? Somebody was talking to him.
Yeah, man.
And I always try to talk. I always try to politic, man. Mr. Nice Guy. And
pull off.
And then so she's like, well, this is private property. And I was like, bitch, we live here. What are you talking about?
Right.
This is private property.
No, she asked. She asked us were we out there working.
Yeah. No. That was the neighbor. I'm talking about the other time we went.
When we was at the beginning.
When we was at the beginning of G-Bar. Yeah, bro. They pulled in, seen us wait. I think we was waiting for like True or we was waiting for somebody. And they stopped, bro, and was like, hey, what are you guys doing up here? It was like, what? The fuck you mean?
It was like, who do you know?
Who do you know?
They thought we was the help.
Yeah, like this is private property. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I'm not saying
and it's our property.
This
Thank
is
you.
Private property.
Yeah, and that's what I was like. I snapped. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not
On
saying
the back
everybody will
seat, you
experience
snap.
that.
You're like, we live here. Man, it was probably one of the funniest moments of this journey so far.
We gotta get that on the t-shirt, bro. I need that on
Besides
the
somebody
t-shirt.
getting murdered down there, remember that one?
That shit was, I don't know why I said that, man. I was just like, what the fuck you want me to say? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like
right,
Trying to be nice and rude at the same
yeah,
time.
trying to be
Look
right.
right. And so I would say that's a con, you know what I mean? Just as far as like you're dealing with these rural MAGA, super patriotic, super off the grid type personalities, and they get perplexed when they see us. So
Yeah, and I will say that there's definitely that. There's also people that and perhaps I would imagine some of these people have never even interacted with black folks, you know what I mean, for the most part. So they just have a perception based on whatever. I ain't giving them no excuses. I have experienced people that are pretty straightforward and pretty decent as far as like doing business with them. And I think that's kind of serves as a mechanism to kind of let people know who you are. Like at the end of the day, um, there's a long list of people that were in opposition that were still able to sit down and have a discussion or perhaps even do business. You know what I mean? There's a lot of examples in history where that has been demonstrated. So I say all that to say, please do not be intimidated by these experiences and don't let anyone like that or whatever they're doing
For sure.
discourage you from these opportunities, because I'm one of these people, and I pay taxes, you know what I'm saying? I was born on this soil. My ancestors blood, sweat and tears are in this soil, so I have that sense of entitlement as well. Like all of this is mine too,
I should,
so
Right.
I should.
they they tend to have a culture of where they just feel like they are natural authority. You know what I mean? Even here in the city, like there those instances where they got to investigate, they got to ask questions, they got to know answers, and they don't literally hold any like law enforcement
Merit,
position or
right?
anything like that.
You don't have
They
to answer
just
what you say,
on some
right?
top flight security type shit. They just need to
Right.
know.
of the
You know what I'm
world,
saying?
Craig.
Yeah, yeah. So go out there, get it. You know, in those spaces where you're unfamiliar, uncomfortable in general, regardless where it is, that's where the opportunity for growth is. So obviously don't go solo if you don't feel comfortable. There's strength in numbers for sure. Especially in these spaces where we're underrepresented. So yeah, it's just, we just gotta show up more. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it.
That's all I see it too. So next topic, man. We're moving right along. Overall, would you say buying land is easy or a hard thing to do?
I'll tap in real quick
What's the
on that one.
hardest?
So,
Yeah, what's the hardest part about it? Is it the money?
uh, man, I don't really think that it's the money piece, because there's so many options that are out there available for you to be able to do it. I think the hardest piece is making your mind up and getting a collective together to be able to do it. Now for us, again, we have the magic number. We started off with 6, but we have 7. We added in an additional brother. But I think, it's just making up the decision and having that trust and faith in your brother that you see, you know what I mean, and moving forward with doing it. I think that's the hardest part to overcome, because the plots of land are out there, they're available. Uh, the research is easy to do as far as that goes. We've laid that out in previous episodes as well, about how to do the research. The key is making the decision and then moving forward. Now, there's multiple ways to do it. We did it through an LLC, so we've got the Growth Spot LLC is one of the ways that we did it. But there's multiple ways. There's other ways to be able to do it. If you're, doing it on your own solo, you could even do it on your own. So, I mean, there's multiple ways, but I think that's probably one of the toughest things is just making up your mind and finding a good collective of people that are, have the same type of interests, that have the same goal and agenda, and then moving forward with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say the exact same thing. I don't have anything extra to add to that. That was on point.
Okay.
That was that was right on the money right there. I agree. I would also add sometimes the terminology is a barrier as well, or at least it serves as like an intimidating factor when you don't know what you're reading, you don't know what you're looking at. Um, so with that, obviously, I mean, the internet is your friend, but also word of mouth, using your network to ask those questions, seeking individuals that have gone through those experiences so that you can have a little more clarity on the processes because um, I'm
Watching
not
this podcast.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Watching the Growth Spot podcast, chiming in, sending your questions in. And yeah, just in general, tapping in because I know what it's like, and I'm sure we all do when you're looking at some paperwork and it's just like, what? Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's not a good feeling, you know? So, again, um, I think the terminology can be a barrier as well.
I
Great
would
point.
say,
Great addition.
yeah, that's a great addition. I would say it's the hardest part is getting out of your mind that you can't do it, because a lot of people think that like it takes credit, it takes a whole large amount of money, it takes this and that, and those three factors alone can, your mind is powerful. It could talk you out of doing the shit before you even begin to really solidify if you want to do it or not. You feel me? So just getting
Bars.
that out the spot and then researching what you want to do. Um, I would say it's more easier than it is hard. And I didn't learn that until 42 years of age. So, but better late than
Yeah,
never.
I agree, bro.
And
Like,
then I
look what
would,
you got to. Oh, go ahead. I mean to cut you. I was just gonna say, like, look what you got to go through to actually purchase a house, right? Like with the
Way
banks and
more.
all of that, like all the red tape that's involved, all the transparency that they impose on you. They got to know what you're doing, when you spending, why you buy that, all of this stuff. You can get so far into the process and then default on the whole process, lose your money, all kinds of stuff. With owner financing, that's just not a factor. Like, do you have the bread to make the down payment? If you do, your foot is on the soil, right? It's essentially yours as long as you don't default on that payment. So there's no credit check involved. So that alone removes a lot of the red tape for people. And I know that is like a thing that discourages people from even like trying to purchase their first property, for instance.
Right.
Like just knowing all the hoops you got to jump, right? And dealing with banks. Historically, black folks don't like to deal with banks. We know about that. So,
yeah.
yeah, this particular format of purchasing, especially collectively, it makes it very, very feasible.
And then the other thing, man, I would say this. I'll throw this out there as an olive branch to anyone that's listening to this. If you haven't already checked out the other episodes, man, reach out to us, man. We're more than willing to to talk through processes and things like that, and and to provide any insight where we can help out. So reach out to us, growspot.org. You can reach out to us. The Gmail is going on the ticker below as well. So social media, all of that, we're on all of those. So feel free to reach out to us as well.
And then double back on that as well. Even if you got information and resources that you want to share, maybe you are a few steps ahead
Mm-hmm.
of the game and you see what we're doing. We got open arms for all information, all types of resources. So definitely reach out for that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we don't have
agreed.
all the answers. We just sharing what we know.
Yeah,
And
we're
that's
not
that's that's
experts.
that's through. Yeah, I wouldn't call us experts at all. We're just sharing what we know through trial and error, and we're still learning. Um,
Absolutely.
and so you always know somebody that knows more than you, and then you always know somebody that knows less than you. So
Absolutely.
we're
Right.
just catering to both, and then you have the in between mark to where like somebody may know more, but didn't know more in regards to what you're talking about right then and there. So, um,
Absolutely.
you know, I just think it's
And
dope.
keep
I
in
had one more
mind,
topic. I had one more topic, but we're gonna wait for that next week. Basically, it was uh, if the land is not bought outright, what's more important, paying it off or developing it? So we'll talk about that.
That's a long
Uh,
conversation.
that's a long conversation. That's why I don't want to bring it up, right now, because then we end up going over uh our allotted time that we like to permit. But yeah, good show tonight, man. Good show tonight, fellas. Good topics, good insight, good dialogue, man. Anybody else got any last words?
Man, there's one thing that I would say, for those that have been rocking with us and watching the episodes and the previous episodes that we've had already, here's what I would say. There's not just one cookie cutter way to be able to get this done. The key is you have to think about this. We mentioned it on previous episodes. They ain't making no more land. Unless you out in, the islands where the volcanoes are and, you got a little bit of land that's being created. They're not making any more land. So it is definitely a wise investment. And there's not one cookie cutter way to do it. The key is being able to make up your mind and go ahead and start that process.
Yeah, in closing, I would just say there's no better time than right now to start.
Facts.
Yeah, I would close and say, get on it right now. Get your team together, get your family together, get whatever unit you moving with, or even just by yourself. Get it and make it happen, because they're not making more of it, and these people are snatching up these plots, bro, like there's no tomorrow.
Green light.
This one lady, green light. It's one lady, our neighbor. She got 3 plots. So if she got 3 plots, she probably got like the brothers and sisters had 96. She probably got like almost 200.
100 and what is that? 112 or something like
Yeah,
that.
she definitely over 100.
She got over 100.
Yeah,
and working hard, working hard by herself too.
Exactly.
Right.
Build it.
So it appears. So it appears.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
But yeah, go ahead and get started though. Green light.
You hear me? Green light, man. Look, this is unified in action to build, protect, and to expand fruitful legacy, man. Love, equity, growth, ancestry, cooperative, yield. The growth spot.
Until next time, man. See y'all next week.
Peace.